Elliot Sloan trying to add to his 8 career X Games medals. He's sitting in bronze medal position with that 86.
Indy 720 over the gap. He's going for it.
Yes!
Wow! An Indy 900.
Oh my goodness! Elliot Sloan absolutely feeling himself out here today.
Wow, Elliot coming through.
Can you believe it?
Hey everybody, welcome to the David Paul Seymour Show. It's my great pleasure to be joined by my friend Elliot Sloan, 5-time gold medal X Games skateboarding gold medalist.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, thanks for taking the time out to join us. Looks like you're at home in sunny California, I assume.
Yep, sure am. Weather is finally warming up, and it is pretty hot. I think it's like going to be in the 90s today. So, yeah, pretty crazy. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's this hot already. It's going to be a pretty hot summer.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah. Living here in Minneapolis, man, I'm very jealous of that. My wife and I
Yeah.
quite a bit about moving out to California.
Yeah.
Our kids are just a few short years away from graduating high school and getting hopefully on their own, and we can
Nice.
get out there, or at least maybe have some sort of footprint out there in some kind of way. But yeah, we're like any traditional Midwest couple that, like, we're just over the snow, we're over the cold, we're fucking tired of it. So
Yeah. What's the weather like right now?
it's actually a really beautiful day out today. I don't know what the temperature is, but it really feels nice. Real blue, sunny sky, and feels
Nice.
good. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, anyways, yeah, I mentioned about the gold medals and the skateboarding. You're also like a really accomplished, I would say, metal guitarist. I've heard your stuff.
Oh, thanks.
We can talk about that. We can earmark that for conversation along the way, but let's get into what you're known most for, the skateboarding part. Like, I've never had a chance to ask you this, but I mean, how did you get, because you were born and raised in New York, I read. How did the whole skateboarding thing for you come about? How old were you? What kind of got you into it, and all that?
Well, yeah, I grew up in New York, in Manhattan, and I used to skate a lot of street. Like, I would just skate around the city. And then it wasn't until I saw Tony Hawk do the 900 on TV at X Games.
Yeah.
And just for me, like, seeing that moment and just how epic it was, and just, yeah, the whole thing, that's really what got me inspired to, like, skate vert and I guess, like, pursue it to that level. Like, man, I want to be on that level of those guys, and like on that stage. It was just it was just like one of those super epic highlight moments that really just inspired me to skate vert. So that's kind of what started it. And luckily there were 2 skate parks in the city at the time that had like pretty small vert ramps. And so I kind of started there, and then we found this other place in New Jersey. It was like indoors, and it had a bigger vert ramp, and there was a little bit of a scene there. And I met a couple guys that were like pros, and so my mom started taking me out there like all the time, and that's what really kind of started it off, was going out there and getting involved like with a little bit of a crew and like a scene. And yeah, one thing led to another, and now here we are.
Well, what did lead you out to California?
Well, pretty much, I'd say I'd been skating vert for probably I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and I was, starting to get like okay, pretty good. And then all the skate parks started shutting down. And then there was literally like I had nowhere else to skate. And I met this guy Kevin Staub at this contest called Tampa Am, and we just kept in touch. And he was always like encouraging me to move out here. And so, I was in touch with him, and my mom had brought me out here like 1 or 2 times. And like the first time she brought me out here, I was like, I'm moving out here, like for sure. Like it was the craziest thing ever. Like just pulled up to the skate park. All these kids are like ripping on Vert. And then we went to Bob Burnquist's house. We went to Tony Hawk's old Vert ramp. And I was like, this is the best place ever. So I think I was 16 at the time. My dad had just passed away. All the skate parks shut down. I was kind of like in this weird moment in my life. I didn't really know what was going on, but all I could think about was moving out here and just skating. So yeah, like after my dad passed away, I left school and I started working for a little bit. And at the same time the skate park shut down, and I was just hating it, dude. I was like, what am I doing? I'm like working this shitty job. And like I said, I was in touch with Kevin the whole time, and he was just like, dude, you got to move out here. And so literally I just one day I told my mom, like, I'm driving out there, and she freaked out and she was like panicking. And then so I drove out here and stayed with a couple friends for a little bit, and then she ended up moving out. And so then we got a place together, and I was 17 at the time. And yeah, it was, I think, one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, life would probably be a whole lot different if I hadn't done that. I mean, probably wouldn't be skating.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I would, but I don't know. Definitely not like at this level, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool, man. Yeah, I mean, I know that California is like the epicenter for so many cool things, whether it's skating or music or, being involved in acting or whatever. So, obviously that's a good call. How did you like make that transition from, hey, I'm skating Vert, I'm just skating half pipes or whatever, to when did the moment arrive in your mind or in your trajectory where you said, hey, I'm going to skate in the X Games and skate this big fucking behemoth of a ramp? Like, how did that come about?
Well, let's see. I mean, I think, obviously the first time anybody saw it was when Danny Way put out the the DC video, or it was actually a little bit before that. There was this thing called King of Skate, and it was like a contest with like 5 or 6 different guys, and they were all given the opportunity to like build something crazy or unique, and I think it was like Tony Hawk, Danny Way, Bob Burnquist, Mike V, I want to say Jeff Rowley, and maybe one other person. He built the mega. Holy shit. And then he put the DC video out, and I'll never forget watching that when that first came out at the skate shop back east. And I was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen, and I want to do that. And then so yeah, like fast forward, like after moving out here, Bob Burnquist had one set up at his house, and we used to skate because he has a Vert ramp out there too. So we used to skate Vert out there all the time, and I would kind of like eye it up, and I'd be like, man, I want to do that. And it took me a while to drop in on it, because same thing with Vert, like dropping in for the first time on a Vert ramp took me like so long. I just remember I'd get up there and I'd look down and I'd be like, oh man, I want to say it took me like almost a year or several months of just getting up there, and just like, and then so it's kind of almost the same thing trying to skate Mega for the first time. Like, the Rollins just seems like it goes forever, and it was just super intimidating. But yeah, like I said, being out at his house skating vert all the time. I mean, we'd see it, and I just, every day I'd skate out there. I'd go over there and I like check it out, and then finally did it. And yeah, I mean, it was actually a really long road of trying to compete actually at X Games. My first ever competition at X Games, like an amateur contest, and I think it was like maybe a year after I moved here, or maybe even that same year, and drove all the way up to LA because it was in the Staples Center at the time, and registered, did the whole thing. Literally my first run, I like dropped in. It was this new ramp that they had just built, dropped in, did this like really wide grind over here, and there was like this kind of this offset thing here, like bank, and I was going up it, and I was like, oh, I didn't really know where to go. I was like, oh shit, and I fucking hit my legs on the side of the ramp, bounced back, like flew back, like sat up, and I cut my both legs all the way to the bone, and I never forget like sitting up and like seeing my shin bones, and then I just passed out. They took me to the hospital, and that was like my first ever X Games experience. So, and then yeah, I mean, it was just years of trying to qualify and get to a level, to be in the mix with all those other guys. But yeah, I mean, I think it, definitely started more with like vert, like trying to compete in vert, and like as I was still kind of just starting to skate mega. They both kind of go hand in hand. Like you can't skate mega ramp or like a big transition like that if you're not really familiar with skating vert. In my opinion,
Yeah,
I mean, you've seen other guys hit it, but like street guys, but they always bail before the quarter pipe. They'll just like do the gap and they jump off. Or the one guy, Pat Duffy, is like a legendary street skater. Like when Bob first set that up, there was a bunch of like dudes that were just on some street dudes that were just on this mission to like, I want to jump the mega ramp. And like, there was a handful of guys that did it, but Pat Duffy did it, but he didn't jump off before the vert ramp or before the quarter pipe. And, he doesn't really skate vert. So he pretty much like fucking exploded at the top and like fell all the way out straight leg, like didn't really know how to get out of it, and just boom, and just exploded both legs.
Oh
yeah. And see, there was a handful of other guys, but yeah, so I didn't know where I was going with that one.
I do that all the time, man. Well, to add on to that, I remember my wife and I, we kind of have various non-professional backgrounds in skateboarding, just enthusiasm, and just, her parents owned a skate shop and all this kind of shit. But, I remember us watching the X Games one time, and that dude, and I'm trying to remember, I think he was from Australia or something like
that. Jake.
Yeah, that guy did that massive historic wipeout or whatever. Like, where were you in your career path at the time that happened?
I was skating mega at that time, but I wasn't in the contest. I was like, literally, I was just skating out at Bob's and trying to get good and trying to, get consistent and learn a bunch of shit. But yeah, I think we were driving up there to go to, like, there was some other event going on, and I just remember like getting there and everyone being like, oh my God, did you hear what happened to Jake here? Everyone's like, oh. And I saw that and I was like, oh man, it almost made me question it, like, yo, that shit's crazy. Do I really want to be doing that? But it was kind of a fluke thing. Like, so he was goofy. and there's 2 jumps. It was the last year they had 2 jumps. There was like the big jump and the smaller one, and he's goofy, so he did his trick, and then he had to land and carve over before he went like this. So that's kind of what did it. I mean, you can see him doing it, like, and that jump, it used to be bigger. Like the year that he fell, it was a true like 70-foot jump. And I think over the years that they've made it, I think it's like 64 feet now. And when it was in the Staples Center like that, there was less flat bottom.
Yeah.
Like when you land and hit the quarter pipe, there was less flat bottom here. So it just feels like when you land, there's no time. You're just like, whoa, rocketing into that thing. So he did that, and he had barely any time to like carve over. And you can just see it, like as he's doing that, like the pressure of him doing that, just, yeah, that's like worst case. But yeah, I mean, the thing with that is like we all skate this one size jump, and we practice on that one out at Bob's house. And then when we go to X Games, there's like the bigger jump that pretty much everyone, that's where like the contest is. And it is, as long as I've skated it, they've always told me like, oh yeah, you know, you're going to get scored higher pretty much whatever you do off that bigger one. So yeah, you just like, you have a few days once you get there to kind of get used to that, the speed and the timing difference off going off that big one. But yeah, it's always like you got to just, you know, be super cautious and just skate that thing with a lot of respect, you know, like can't get cocky, and because it can bite you for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the worst injury or worst thing that's happened to you when you've either been practicing or in competition?
Pretty much all in the mega ramp. I took you know, knock on wood, 3 slams that really actually no, there was one on vert that was pretty bad too, but mostly the mega ones are pretty bad. And I'd say the scariest one was like about 5 years ago. I was skating out at Bob's, and I was just practicing, and I had done this trick 2 times earlier that, or like not earlier, like almost right before I slammed. Just went up, and I think I was just tired, and it was a super long day, and I went up to do this trick, and I literally just got, I don't know what happened. I just got lost, and I was upside down, and I didn't know where, like I couldn't tell which way was up or down. I didn't know where I was. And that was the scariest feeling ever. And then I fucking fell head first into the quarter pipe. And I just remember hitting my head, and I felt like everything went, like I felt like I heard it in my head, like my spine go, and then I flipped back and like hit my head.
Oh.
And I kind of came to, and I was just like, oh my God, I think I just broke my neck. I went to the hospital, and my neck's never really been the same. It's kind of like, I don't know, I didn't break anything, but I ended up like compressing like 2 of the vertebrae kind of. And they were like, yeah, we can't really do surgery for that, but you know, you should go do physical therapy. And so I did that for like a while, and did all this massage therapy and just all different types of treatment to kind of get it back. But yeah, always mega shits. Mega slams are no joke. They're on a whole nother level.
Yeah. So you sort of, you know, it seems to me, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but your career now and the however many years it's been, few years I've known you, the mega ramp thing, the X Games thing, it seems like what you're like gearing for all year, and you know what kind of your career as a skateboarder revolves around right now. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. So I mean, is that accurate to say? Do you kind of spend all year just sort of training for those moments to compete for X Games and stuff like that? I know you skate for fun, and I know that but I mean professionally or whatever, would you consider that like kind of where you spend the bulk of your time at least?
Well, I skate a lot of vert too, and you know, unfortunately, over the years I haven't really been a consistent contest skater. And so, you know, when it comes to vert, it's like a matter of putting together, you know, like a 10 or 12 wall run. Whereas on Mega, it's just 2 tricks. So it's, you know, not, I mean, there's still 2 big tricks, but it's not, you know, and skating vert's definitely, I feel like a lot more just taxing, you know, it's just way more cardio. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'd say I skate both of them just as much. You know, I have a vert ramp here in my house, and I've got this other Mega setup. But yeah, I mean, this year is insane. Actually, just yesterday, the X Games is canceled this year. But there's some stuff happening right now where we actually might. There's a whole bunch of changes going on. So yeah, that's all I can really say right now. But
sure,
there's a lot of cool shit, hopefully in the works. You know, just given the circumstances, just try and make the best of it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it's, you know, I guess it depends how far out. Like usually like a month or 2 out from like a contest, I'll really start, you know, working on like contest tricks versus like the rest of the year. I don't know, just trying to film shit for fun or for a video part, or just skating for fun. So
yeah, you brought it up. That's kind of 2 things I was going to touch on is kind of the environment of just being a professional skateboarder right now during all this COVID shit, you know, and then the other part is.
Wait, what did you say? You broke up.
I was just saying I was going to touch on 2 things, and you kind of brought them up. One of them is like the environment of being a professional skateboarder, or I guess any kind of level of skateboarder right now in this era of COVID or whatever, you know. And the other thing is about the ramp in your yard and all that. But let's actually talk about the ramp in your yard first, since we've been talking about the Mega ramp. I know you've got a replica of it, you know, I guess you would call it a replica of it or whatever, you know, in your backyard. So you're able to train on that kind of anytime you want, which I would imagine is really cool, given that, you know, I don't know if skate parks are open, or, you know, you can even just like roll off your front, you know, driveway and go for a skate like you'd want to do, or what the limitations there on that are. But it's probably pretty handy to have the setup you have in your own.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much been skating almost every day, and yeah, all the skate parks are shut down, and it's just like a weird time, man. Like I haven't really been letting people skate, but you know, it's been a couple weeks now, and I'm like, I feel bad, like not, because I always skate with people, and people always come here to skate. So, yeah, it's weird. But yeah, the setup that I have here, so I've got a vert ramp and then this Meg ramp. It's not like the same one as X Games. It's a little different, and we just added all this stuff onto it. And so I've been working on this new thing for like fucking years, man. Like I've had this concept for a while, and we're trying to roll it out at it was going to be at X Games this year, but now yeah, I can't say too much, but we're gonna show it this year, and you know, we just finished it, and I'm waiting for the guys to come down and brand everything. So that's kind of been the mission there, is like just get the branding on, and I want to film a couple things and like have that be the first thing that people see, and then have it be, you know, at X Games.
Yeah, right on. So what do you mean by branding it? Like your big sponsor decal?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, for the guys that help me pay for it and just make it happen.
Yeah, man. Gotta pay the bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to plug or talk about who are your sponsors now? I'm always fascinated by that kind of thing. Like, it's like, if I could figure out a way to like at being a visual artist, like, you know, hey man, maybe like Sharpie would want to spot. You know?
Yeah.
That's a sweet gig to have sponsors like that.
Yeah, I feel super fortunate for that, especially in a time like this right now. But Rockstar Energy Drinks, like my main sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
They've been super good to me. I've been riding for them for like almost 10 years now.
Mm.
And you know, they helped me with the vert ramp. They paid for that. And you know, even over the years, like just in December, they helped me resurface it, skate light, ramp surfaces. They're like another sponsor of mine now, and they've been super good to me. They've given me, I don't know, countless sheets to, you know, like I said, we redid the vert ramp, resurfaced that in December, and it feels better than it ever has. 888, thank you. 888 helmets, they're actually one of my, pretty much my first sponsor. They're a helmet company out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And they helped me with the mini mega. Yeah. And yeah, Weed Maps paid for this new part of the mega back here, but then unfortunately, just like a few months ago, they pulled their plug on the whole action sports program. So that's kind of a bummer, because we were trying to plan all this cool stuff, and then I don't know what happened, but they were just like, yeah, sorry, like we're done. And I'm like, all right. But yeah, still very appreciative of them, you know, making it happen. And then Birdhouse Skateboards and Tony Hawk. Pretty much Tony started the whole thing, because he gave me like the first part of it, which was from his like Boom Boom Huck Jam tour that he did back in the day. And there was like, they had his vert ramp, and then there was like this, like, I don't know, not like full mega, but it was a pretty big roll into a jump landing in a quarter pipe. And so he had the quarter pipe and all the other stuff like at his warehouse for years, and he just had it stored. And I just kept asking him over the years, like, dude, we should set this up. Like, I've got the spot. We should set it up. And then one day finally he was just like, yeah, all right, come, you got to come take all of it though. You can't take like pieces. You got to take everything. So we came and took everything, and it took years to like sift through everything. And, you know, there was just so much stuff that I didn't need, but, you know, we kind of got rid of, or we just used it in different ways. But so Tony started it with that. And dude, it's like the quarter pipe is perfect, because it's just like his vert ramp. He had all these ramps like custom made by this company that makes like crazy staging for, you know, music acts like U2 and like all these Madonna. They make all these crazy stages. Right. And so they built him a vert ramp and all these other ramps, and it's all like steel or aluminum, and it's just like perfect. So yeah, super grateful for that, and for Tony.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like a super random question, but like, I wonder what the hell ever happened to that ramp at the end of Animal Chin? Where the hell did that thing wound up? That ought to be in a museum somewhere.
They only set that up, I think, for like a week or two, just for that shoot, and it was in Oceanside. They got rid of it, but I think a couple of years ago, a replica of it at Woodward West, and I got to skate it, and it's pretty hard to skate just because like there's so much stuff on it.
Yeah.
Like pretty much every wall or every section of it, there's like something different. So
yeah.
But it was definitely cool, because I used to watch that video all the time.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. that one little goofy little mini quarter pipe on the deck of the one ramp and all that. It's like so much shit. It's like they just went berserk, you know. It pales in scope to the mega ramp, but I've never seen anything as cool as it though. So imaginative, especially at the time, you know. Well, it's cool having a bunch of sponsors chip in and help you build a ramp. I know back in, God, I want to say it was probably like 87 or 88, somewhere in there like that when I was in high school. Like we built this like 14-foot, you know, a quarter pipe, half pipe. And I shouldn't even be saying this, but you know, we actually went out when like our parents gave us some money. We worked jobs and got some money, but then the rest of it, we couldn't meet the goal. We actually just went out and started kind of robbing wood in the middle of the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know? And I felt so bad, you know, because, you know, people, they were like, you know, getting their dream houses probably built or whatever. And here we are like taking some of their wood and like, we'll just take a little bit from this guy and a little bit from this guy and whatever, you know. They got insurance, man, and all, you know, we justified it so many ways. So looking back on it, I feel terrible about it, but we got the ramp built and, man, we probably got like 3 or 4 years out of that, all through the rest of high school, you know, that thing. And we'd have people from 2 towns over coming over to ride and, you know, it made for, you know, great way to make friends. And it was a lot of fun, but, I feel real bad about the way we went.
Well, I mean, I guess when you're a kid and you're just, you know, trying to make it happen, you got to do what you got to do. But
so so you mentioned Tony Hawk. I guess kind of like, for lack of a better term, he's kind of like your boss, maybe, or he's kind of the head of the team, I guess, you know.
You know. I don't know if I'd say boss, but
not boss, but like the chief.
Or like, he's like the head honcho. He's been a great mentor and, you know, fucking childhood idol and hero.
Sure.
And so it's definitely been very surreal and cool to, you know, be able to skate with him and travel with him over the years and go to different events and demos. You know, I've been on crazy amount of cool trips and experiences, you know, with him and the little Vert demo squad that he's got. But yeah, man, just a trip. And we had a couple planned this year and were canceled. But he's got some other cool stuff in the works. So yeah, Tony's the man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, yeah, that's great. So tell me about like the first time that you won your first gold medal at X Games and kind of how the feeling of that was.
It was crazy. It was in 2013. It was that year they launched this whole like global X Games. So there were like 4 stops. There was Brazil, Barcelona, Munich, and then LA. And I got second, third, second, and then I won the last one. And that year the format was different, and there were like 3 sections, and you had to score in each section, and it was like a combined score of all 3. And it kind of just came down to I did stuff in all 3 sections, and then the last section Bob Burnquist like slammed super bad, and so he didn't make his last run, and then it kind of I won. And it was awesome. I just remember like he had slammed and he was pretty wrecked, and he had to make one more run, and like I had taken my last run, and he was going last, and so I was at the bottom. I was like, oh shit, like I think I could win, you know, if he falls or whatever. And so I just remember him like hitting the jump, and he bailed, and I was just like, oh shit, I think I just won. And yeah, it was awesome. Like, even though it wasn't that cool to win like that,
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, you know, I think he broke his nose. Like he came down, slammed, like hit his face, and he broke his nose. And you know, I was just like, oh man, you know, I would have liked to have won, you know, just fair and square. But I don't know. I guess it is fair and square, but you know what I mean. Like just
Yeah, I know.
him,
Yeah, head to head.
Him making his stuff and me making my stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, it probably wouldn't have won if he had made all this stuff because he's just super good.
yeah.
But yeah.
I remember the first time we saw you, my wife and I. We came. You were doing the one here in Minneapolis, and you won gold there. And if I remember right, I think that was the one where he hung it up. Right? It was like he had a big kind of like everybody was all excited. It was his last X Games, and
yeah, it was weird. Nobody really knew. I mean, everyone kind of saw his attitude the whole time, though. Like everyone could. Like he just tell like he wasn't even trying. He wasn't that stoked to be there. And then, you know, it was kind of weird, you know, even looking back. And I just remember people coming up to me or hitting me up after because like I won, you know, and they were literally like interviewing me and he kind of just like snuck up and like took like, I don't know. It was weird. Like they were interviewing me and like, the guy could tell like he was kind of, you know, inching up, and then he was like, all right, he asked him a question, and then he like pretty much took the mic and went off on this whole thing about how he was retiring and all this shit. And then that was it. And then they just ended. And I was like, dude, I said like 2 things. Like, and everyone was like, dude, that's so lame. Like he fucking stole your moment and all this shit. And I was like, yeah, I think hey, he did kind of, huh? And I was like, all right, well, fuck. So yeah,
well,
whatever.
You know, what can you say, man? Guy's a legend.
Yeah, no, for sure, super legend.
Now he's out of your fucking hair.
Yeah.
he's cleared the lane for you now, man.
Yeah,
it was pretty trippy too. I don't know if it was that one or the next one that in Minneapolis that we saw, but man, I remember there was this kid. That kid was like 12 or 13 or something like that. That was eating, you know, and I was like, holy shit, man! Is that even legal to let a kid fucking ride on something like that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the kids are insane now. There's this other kid. I want to say he's like 10 or 11, super young, and he's super little, and like he can do 9s on a vert ramp, like. Yeah. He can just do any spin. He's just like so small and compact. And so definitely getting younger. And so, yeah, that's really cool to see.
It's amazing how the whole thing is evolving. Like I know, again, going back and watching Animal Chin or any of those old, you know, PAL videos, man, or it's amazing how like I don't want to downplay because it was amazing to us at the time, but like how lame some of that stuff is in comparison to what you guys do now. And like it seems like every year it's almost like technology, like everything gets bigger, the kids get younger, these are so much crazier. And like you know, seeing Tony do that 900, we watched that when it happened and everybody freaking out. Now it's like, you know, anybody worth their salt can pull that off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like, it's funny how fast the shit moves and progresses and get harder, you know?
For sure. I mean, it only takes one person like that to show like what's possible and to inspire other people. And then it's just on, you know? Yeah. And I think it's just natural progression of anything that you're into. You see, man, oh man, this person's doing that, and it's like motivates you or inspires you to like try something, try whatever that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, skating's at an insane level right now.
Yeah.
But every year, it's just at this point, it doesn't even really surprise me anymore because of just seeing it, you know, progress every year. It's like, you know, it's just getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah, for sure. So we said at the top, about you playing music and stuff like that. I want to make sure we get a little bit of time to talk about that and what you do with that, because like I said, I think you're an amazing guitarist. And
Oh, thank you.
yeah, and so like, what are you do? Have you found more time to play with all the Corona stuff going, or is
Oh
it?
yeah, I've been jamming a lot. And unfortunately, it's just, a lot of the time you're just in there fucking around, trying shit. So, I mean, yeah, I've been in there trying to write.
Yeah,
But, sometimes you're just in there for hours working on something and it doesn't feel like it's getting anywhere. And then other days it's like, boom, a whole idea will just come out.
yeah,
And you're like, fuck, why can't that happen all the time? But then there's like a couple songs that I'm working on that like I have a couple cool parts for, but like can't find anything else that I like to, put around it.
mhm.
But yeah, we've had a couple songs done for a while. My buddy Tanner Wayne and I have this project together. He's a drummer for In Flames and he's my roommate here. So yeah, we got a studio here, so we've been writing, and we put one of the songs out like, I don't know, three weeks ago, and we're gonna put another one out next Friday.
Okay.
So yeah, the whole thing is like kind of just this big like collab project. Tanner and I are like the main guys, and then we've just, obviously Tanner knows a ton of people in the music industry, and so we've just been hitting different people up to do like guest vocals or like guest solos and stuff. So yeah, this one that we're putting out next week, it has the singer of Mice and Men, this dude Aaron Pauley.
Oh.
He's he did the vocals, and then my buddy Nick Hippa did a solo. So yeah,
Do you see
I've been
yourself starting, like a proper band, and having a fully fleshed out band with all the music and kind of permanent lineup and
we actually have another project that we're working on. We've got a couple songs for that, and that's more of like a permanent lineup. But for me, I don't know, it's see where it takes me. Like, definitely be cool, but I've thought about it over the years. Like, yeah, as much as I want to do that and pursue that, I don't know if I could handle like being away from skating
Mhm.
for that. I couldn't just not skate for a month, like go on tour. I think I'd lose my mind.
Yeah.
As much as I want to do it, like what days when I don't skate, I kind of like yesterday, I fucking did some stupid shit, just like something around the house. I don't know if I can turn this around. Anyways, I stubbed my toe and like
Oh yeah.
bent my toenail back.
Oh.
And dude, it hurt so bad. And I tried to put my shoe on. And I was like, dude, there's no way I can skate now. And so like yesterday, I was just, I don't know.
You just kind of go fucking
It's
nuts.
like this weird feeling when I don't skate, not doing anything, or like it's like the main thing that gives me like purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, just seeing where it takes me. It's actually a pretty crazy opportunity. I won't say too much, but it's a pretty sick lineup so far. And so we've just been writing and kind of sending stuff back and forth with the other guys, and yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's exactly why my wife and I made the decision a good while back. While like I don't skate anymore. I've never been able to I've never been allowed to own a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff, because not only could I, like, we're always like, man, what if you fucked up your hands or your eyes? You know what I mean? For me, it's like, not only would I like not just like you with skating, not be able to handle not drawing anymore, but we'd literally be fucking homeless,
Yeah.
It's where all the money comes from. But that, and I'm also probably, easily 30 pounds too heavy to really like do anything effective on a skateboard right now. But,
yeah.
Quarantine's been actually a good time for me to work on that goal too. So
Nice.
Yeah. So, but
I actually just started like painting and drawing again. I was like super into it when I was young.
yeah.
And you know, my roommate Tanner and my wife Tabitha are like super into it, and so they're like, they kept bugging me like, oh, sit down. I'm like, all right, fuck it. And I, you know, yeah, I literally I used to go take lessons because I wanted to be like a comic book drawer. Like I still am obsessed with comics and like just
Yeah, me too, man.
I'm a super nerd. So actually, I'll show you. I'll show you the studio real quick.
Oh yeah, man.
But huge fan of Spawn and Todd McFarlane.
Oh yeah.
So I painted this one the other day.
Oh sweet, man. Oh yeah, Todd would be proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
Wait, hold on. You kind of broke up.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi got kind of shit. What did you say?
It's been glitchy the whole time, but you know, hey man, we're not professional Zoomers, you know. So
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about it. But no, I was saying it's really sick, man. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good that you're doing that. Yeah, I'm super
Yeah.
comic books too. I didn't know that about you, so that's great.
Yeah, I still have like pretty much my whole collection.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm kind of a fan.
But yeah, it's been cool. Like
all these Conan comic books. I got fucking tons of those. And it's kind of
oh, sick.
Kind of
yeah. I saw that one piece. That one piece you did. I think it's behind you with the yellow background, like the skull.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that one? Yeah, that one's super sick. I saw that one.
Yeah.
The other day.
Yeah. Just another day, another drawing. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's very almost like meditating drawing.
Oh,
you know, you kind of just like get into this thing where you're not really thinking, you're just like super present, especially when you're doing like, you know, I was noticing like the fine shit where you're like having to fill in stuff in between lines and you just got to be like super careful and like go slow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want to like, actually I just bought a bunch of like paint markers the other day online, and
yeah,
I definitely want to like get back into it because I feel like it'll just good for mental state.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, that's good, man. You should. I mean, everybody should do art, you know. And it's funny because so many people don't, and they're because, well, I'm no good. I can't even draw a stick figure or whatever. And it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, man. I mean, you nailed it. It's all about like just kind of taking your mind off of.
It doesn't matter, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's great you're doing that, man.
Yeah. It's awesome. Like I took some I did this music like school thing a few years ago, and one of the classes, you know, is like one of the first things they taught you is like, all right, they try and tell you like, okay, before you like try and make music, they tell you like, they're like, okay, do this like mandala. You know, it's like you start with like a little design in the middle and like keep doing designs outward. And I guess the idea is to like not think and just create.
Yeah.
And it kind of helps you get in a state of mind where you're just, you know, you're not overthinking and you're just kind of going with the flow or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So see my dogs real quick.
Yeah.
They're just being super cute.
How many dogs do you have?
Hey boys, what you guys doing? What are you doing? Lucy, Emma's. You guys are getting too hot. Huh?
Oh, beautiful dogs.
Thank you. Dude, it's like, fuck, I think it's going to be like 90 today. It's so hot right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't even try and complain about that.
No, definitely. I'm not complaining, but we did like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, had pretty much the heaviest rainfall I think I've ever seen since I've lived here. And we knew it was going to rain, but I was like, fuck, dude. I think it rained like 6 or 7 inches in one day. And like the closest freeway right here. It's never happened. One of the exits like completely flooded. They had to shut the whole freeway down. It was like, it was insane, dude. So yeah, I'm just really glad that the rain is done, because obviously I can't skate when it's raining, and it just fucks everything up back here. And you know, houses aren't really built for that kind of stuff out here, so everyone has issues with flooding and shit when it rains that hard out here.
Sure. Yeah. That's part of the whole appeal, man, is consistent weather.
Yeah, and like, dude, last year was an insane amount. This year, pretty heavy amount. Yeah, it's just progressively getting weirder. I don't know, fucking global warming or what, but
yeah, it makes you wonder, man.
Shit's changing for sure. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, so we were talking earlier about motorcycles and whatnot. We touched on that a couple times. I know you're kind of an enthusiast with Eric and Mark and all those.
What did you say about?
Oh,
what?
Up again. Talking about motorcycles. I know you're an enthusiast.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Our mutual buddies Eric and Mark and Morgan and all those guys, and like, how is that something you've been into? It kind of feels like. Sorry, I can tell it's glitching up again too.
Yeah, I can hear you though.
Okay. You know, it seems like that whole kind of thing goes hand in hand with being a skater. It seems like a lot of skaters are into motorcycles. I imagine it's like the adrenaline and the danger aspect to it and all that. So, well, how far into your life were you when you realized you into that?
Wait, what was the question?
When in your life did you realize like you were in like, man, I really like motorcycles, let me start fucking
well, let's see. It started with dirt bikes. I think I learned how to ride a dirt bike. I forget where, but I would kind of just, you know, putt around and actually, yeah, so it started with dirt bikes, and then I guess when it started with like street bikes, Bob Burnquist was like sponsored by this motorcycle company, and he had two of them. And one day he's like, "Oh, you want to go like rip around the neighborhood?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then so like we went, and I was pretty much like instantly hooked. I was like, it was super intimidating because I'd never, you know, ridden a bike on the street and just like seeing cars fly past you, and you're just like, holy shit. But like that was all it took. Like that one time I was just like, oh man, this is fun. And then I started, you know, riding other people's bikes, and then yeah, I bought my first bike I think in 2016. And you know, then got into that whole side of it, just like, you know, just customizing it and stuff. And then yeah, like still riding dirt bikes a bunch. And so I think I've been riding street bikes for, you know, a couple of years now, and yeah, it's just super fun. And it's another one of those things where it's just good for the mind. You know, you just get out and you're not on your phone, and you just go fast. You fucking just cruise.
You ever see your skill level on dirt bikes? Oh, go ahead.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
I said, you ever see your skill level on dirt bikes or whatever get to, maybe that's another X Games potential for you?
Oh, definitely not. I always try and ride pretty cautiously, you know, like,
yeah,
it's just one of those things. Like you know, if I were to get hurt doing that, I'd be so pissed that, you know, and I couldn't skate. It's like yesterday, stubbing my toe, like it was doing something around the house. Like I was so mad because I was planning on skating, and I was like, dude, I can't skate because I got hurt doing this other shit. So no, I definitely just cruise, you know. Even though like riding, I mean, they're both pretty dangerous, but you know, I've had a couple pretty close calls riding dirt bikes, but I always just try and, you know, cab's always trying to get me to come on track. Everyone, oh, dude, come out to the track. I'm like, fuck no, dude. Like I've been out to the track like a bunch of times, and it's always such a, you know, they always have so many close calls. there. So I just like for riding dirt bikes, I love riding trails and just, you know, just cruising.
Yeah.
No jumping or any of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, right. He's into the like flat track racing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's super good at like the track. He can jump, like he can hit 70-foot jumps, but then you know he broke his femur like I don't know a year ago or a few months ago, maybe a year ago. But you know, even an inexperienced rider like him, he'd still get pretty hurt.
Yeah, I imagine the hurt potential is a lot greater with it. It seems like anyway. I mean, you're pushing around. I don't know, 100, 200 pounds of fucking steel versus, getting injured on it. I mean, neither one are good in the end.
Yeah.
Get hurt, but.
Yeah, it's like, dude, if you hit a jump wrong, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, even if you jump off or whatever, you got to worry about this huge, heavy bike landing on you or, you know.
Yeah.
So it's gnarly.
Yeah. And even just riding around casually or whatever, like I was saying about our mutual friend Eric, you know, he took a bad spill and almost wasn't with us anymore. So I mean, even just casually riding around, not even getting crazy in that regard.
Yeah.
And that could be the end of you there too. You
know?
Oh,
for sure. Yeah. I mean, all it takes is, you know, one little thing or, you know, person not looking. But like I said, what's that?
One good pothole.
Dude, seriously, I was riding the other day and, you know, on a bike, that shit comes up pretty quick. And a lot of times it's like you deer in the headlights, you see it and you're like, oh, fuck, I just got to take it, you know?
Yeah.
So I was riding the other day and that happened. I saw a big ass pothole and I luckily just went right over it. But the way it looked like my front tire was just going to like lock into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a couple cool little rides around here. You know, there's like the mountains just, I don't know, 15 minutes from here. So there's a bunch of cool windy roads. So I try and just go on those like little rides. I try and stay off the freeway and just, I don't know. But also, I also do find myself like coming back from rides, like, man, I probably should have like taken it easier, you know, because a lot of times you get going and you're like, I've got this one bike that's like way too fast, and you know, sometimes you go pretty fast and you're like, you get back and I'm like, fuck, why did I do that?
Yeah, man. Like I said, the adrenaline. There's got to be a huge adrenaline junkie inside your brain, I would imagine, doing what you do.
For sure.
You know, so it's to be expected, man. You can't apologize for that.
Yeah.
But so I'm curious, like what is like your life right now with all this COVID stuff on a non-professional level, just your kind of day-to-day experience, how much of your life has been changed by what's going on right
now? To be honest, I mean, I hate saying it because I feel almost guilty, like having this, but set up here, you know, but I don't really leave the house much anyways. You know, I've got everything I need here. I have the ramps, studio, and make music and just so, but, you know, it's really sad to see so many people's lives changing. I mean, our whole economy is fucked up. I mean, it seems like it's going to take, you know, and that's the scary part too, is like, it's kind of just, nobody knows how long this is going to last or how big of an impact. And it's already had a pretty big impact, but you know, everyone's out of work. You know, all my events are canceled this year. You know, for Tanner, you know, in the music industry, it's like, you know, there's you're not going to be able to have like festivals until next fall. So I mean, it's really affecting a lot of people's livelihoods, and it's just it sucks to see, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's trickled to even me, you know, with what I do, because I'm attached to the music industry in a big way, and insofar as doing work for the bands and stuff like that. And, you know, when they're not touring or doing shows, that they don't have as much need for me. So, you know, it's like, I'm probably operating at about 60%, which I can't complain. There's some people who are operating at fucking 0%.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I can't complain, but I feel the pinch. And if it continues on, not only is it not good for business, but it's just, we're social creatures. Everybody likes going to concerts or, you know, seeing bands. And, you know, most of these bands can't even like get together and rehearse or material. And, you know, that fucking blows, you know? So, I mean, but it extends even to you. I mean, you know, what are you going to do if it's a year or more goes by and you can't skate at an event and compete, or, you know, have your buddies over? It's such a social practice to skate together, you know what I mean? It's got to blow just going out and riding your ramp alone. And I imagine it's almost like bigger than weightlifting. It's probably a good idea for you to have a spotter, you know? I mean, if you took a bad out in your backyard, nobody's around. I mean,
that's why I've been like, sometimes like I have my wife come out to like film me or something, or even when she's not filming, I'm like, hey, like, I'm trying something. You want to just like come out here? I think about that, you know, like that would suck. I mean, knock on wood, it's never happened, but I know, like, I don't know if you know who Matt Hoffman is. He's like, you know, BMX dude, but he's got like a backyard setup, and that's happened to him before, like where he's knocked himself out and he's riding by himself, and then like his wife just comes out and finds him like fucking literally. That's kind of scary to think about.
That's so bueno, man.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep your wife out there at least.
Keep an
eye on you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I said, if things are like this for another year or even 6 months, that's gonna. I mean, obviously that doesn't suck worse than people dying, you know.
Yeah,
for
sure.
As a whole, it blows. And so, you know, I guess we just have to wait this thing out and see how it goes, you know. But
that's the crazy thing, right? It's like nobody knows how long it's gonna last, and then you got some states opening back up now when it's like, you know, a lot of people are recommending not to, and now it's just like, all right, well, is there going to be like a second wave, and then is it going to set us back?
That's what they're saying.
It's just
what a lot of people expect, you know.
A lot of uncertainty, and just, I don't know, just got to make the most of it, I guess. That's all you can do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anything you want to share with us in closing, man? I feel like we covered a lot of ground, and you've been really generous with your time.
Yeah, no worries. I guess people that are into the music thing, keep an eye out for that. It's called Night Fiends. We're putting another song out next week. And then, that's kind of been my idea with that, is to kind of, as much as I love albums and like concept albums, I think it's really cool how a lot of bands, and I'm really into electronic music too, but a lot of those guys put out singles. Mm-hmm. And I've always thought that was cool with, you know, that scene versus metal, or with bands, how you pretty much just wait like a year or two for an album, you know, and then versus like putting a song out every month or something and just kind of, you know, spacing it out. We got some songs ready to go, and I'm going to try and put them out like, I don't know, probably like every 3 or 4 weeks.
Sure. Great. Where are you putting those out at? Where can people find that?
On Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. Yeah, it'll be on all those. And the first one's out. It's called Night Fiends. You can just look it up on Spotify or iTunes, all that stuff. And I guess keep an eye out for you know, some live streaming stuff. You know, like I said, I can't say too much, but trying to work with the guys at X Games to maybe figure out something at my place or wherever, but hopefully something will happen.
That sounds great, man.
Yeah.
I blew that. I forgot I was going to ask you about live streaming, like your skate sessions or something like that. And I know you share a lot of stuff on Instagram and that kind of thing, but it would be cool to have something like more like an exhibition, and that's maybe what you're talking about. So
yeah, and I've wanted to do more live stream things, but it's kind of hard when you're the only one skating and you're like running up the ramp and I gotta go again. So hopefully soon I'll be able to get some guys over here and do some more live streaming stuff. But I guess that's just the way everything's going now, and I feel like it might open the door for a lot of new things because everyone's online and it's pretty cool. I feel like you can interact with people way more than you could just like watching it on TV or something,
Yeah, man.
So sure. maybe it's something new that's happening right now that we're not even aware of, but it might be like the new wave of shit.
I think so. Necessity is the mother of invention, they say. So I think this is going to open up all kind of cool new ways of looking at doing things, and it's going to change a lot of stuff for sure. I think we'll go back to being as we were, at some period of time when this has to end at some point. And but I think the normal will be a new kind of, a new paradigm. It'll look different and have some cool. There's always silver linings to everything. So
for sure.
Well, man, I appreciate it. You've been like
no worries
finished with your time. I'm jealous looking at your surroundings right now.
Yeah.
At least we do have a beautiful day out. I'm gonna try to enjoy it a little later, but
right on.
Yeah, but it's good to see you, man.
You too, man.
Give my love to Eric and the boys if you see them or talk to them. We'll catch you on the flip, man. I appreciate it. Thanks.
No worries. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a good one, man.
Okay, you too. Later.